thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the second video of the Bay Tribe YouTube channel. Today I'm by myself because I kind of wanted to do a video for everyone in general, but for kind of guided more towards the black woman. I feel like we are so undervalued and unappreciated that we tend to miss the self-love, the self-manifestation part of life, and we tend to skip over that to give ourselves to everybody else. So this is a video of just some tips and tricks that I've learned over time to help with self-love, manifestation, whatever. Me personally, I feel like once you hit a point of self-love and knowing your worth is when you decide that nobody else is worth your happiness, nobody else is worth your peace. And in that moment is when you really understand that if someone isn't making you happier than you make you, then they're not worth it. If your most peaceful time is when you're by yourself rather than when you're with that person, they're not worth being with. So I just wanted to share a couple of things that I just learned along the way. Just for anybody out there struggling, I'm sorry, with self love and understanding self. To me, the first step is always finding your trigger, finding what really takes you to a place where you feel like you're unworthy of love or where you feel like you're unworthy of being happy. Find your trigger and either discuss it with a therapist, which I highly recommend anybody, to anybody, for everybody. Discuss your issues with a therapist. It is so healthy. It's so overwhelmingly it takes a big weight off your shoulders when you're able to go discuss things with a therapist. So I definitely recommend that to any and everybody, to start identifying your trigger, that trigger situation that really made you feel like you weren't worth it or whatever. Once you do that, learning your 5 love languages is so important. And it's important not only because you want to be able to tell whatever partner you have in the future your 5 love languages, but you want to be able to explore them yourself, to know your limits and your boundaries during your 5 love languages. You want to understand what's important to you by yourself and in a relationship. So the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, acts of kindness, receiving gifts, and physical touch. Just exploring those love languages by yourself is so important because you have to know what you want to be able to tell your partner what you want. You can't tell your partner what you want if you don't know what you want. So exploring those by yourself, just to give a couple examples, is like if yours is quality time, spend some quality time with yourself. Go run a bath and just sit in it by yourself, listening to your favorite artists on replay and candles lit and all of it, just to spend time with yourself. Give yourself that quality time that you really need. If it is receiving gifts, go out and buy yourself something nice, something you normally would tell yourself you kind of just don't need it. Go buy yourself something nice. Go buy the new car you want. Go buy whatever it is. If it's a watch, if it's a cat, a dog, whatever it is, go buy yourself something to remind yourself of how important you are to you. If it's words of affirmation, speak positivity into yourself every moment you get. I'm beautiful. I'm smart. I'm got a nice body. Whatever it is, whatever you, especially words of affirmation, especially important when you feel insecure about yourself. That's especially important to really break down those walls of, I know a lot of us were probably bullied as kids or whatever it may be. So take that time to break down those walls and say, okay, people used to tell me my eyes were big, which they are, but I like having big eyes. So any day in the mirror, my eyes are beautiful. And on many occasions, see, it was funny back then. It was, oh, the little girl with glasses with big eyes. But now it's your eyes are just, it's something about them. So that's something that's beautiful to me, because now I'm getting compliments on them. Where when we were younger, it was so funny and it was so everything, but now they're so beautiful. Like, I can just get lost in your eyes. And so you have to speak that positivity into yourself, because if anything, and we're going to touch on manifestation after, but anything, you have to manifest to yourself that you are beautiful, you are worth it, because you are. I don't care what has happened to you in your past. I don't care who has told you you're not. You're worth everything in this world. You are worth so much to other people, and you should be worth it to yourself. So you have to remind yourself of that every day, to be worth it to yourself. Me personally, another little thing I use for self love, once I learned that words of affirmation is my number two on my list of importance. Um, I have a whiteboard in my room, a whiteboard calendar actually, in my room, and on the side there are little sayings on the side that are just important to me and uplift me every morning, because that's something I look at. It's right in front of my bed, so it's something that I look at every morning and know that those are positive things that I need to reinforce in my own brain from the moment that I wake up. So one of the quotes is, she be, yet she be little, what is it? And though she be but little, she is fierce. Another one is, I am my problem and my solution. Why that one is so important to me, and I feel like everybody should hear that quote at least one time in their life, is because you are your problem and your solution. Because anything that you take yourself through in life's journey that becomes a problem to you is only a problem to you because you're in that situation right now. So you have to decide what your solution for that situation is. No matter what it may be, your solution may be different than somebody else's solution, and that's okay. Everybody's not going to have the same solutions to the same problem. We're just not. Just because I don't have a car and you don't have a car does not mean that our solution is to go to the dealership. That doesn't mean that both of our solution is the same thing. I may have to start off with a car that I bought off of the street, and you may have to start off with something from the dealership. Doesn't mean we both didn't get to the same solution. That just means we have to go about it different ways. So you have to remember that you are your problem and your solution, because only you can stand in your way. No matter what anybody else has told you, said to you, done to you, you are the only one who can stand in your way from progressing in life. Period. So you have to remember that you have to love you first, because one thing that I've always disliked, I don't want to use hated, because I was going to say hated, but I don't want to use hated because that's a strong word, but disliked, as far as, this one fly is getting on my nerves in my room. But one thing that I've always disliked about people saying in relationships is that a relationship is supposed to be 50-50. In my eyes, there is no way that a relationship is supposed to be 50-50. It is supposed to be 100-100. Why? Because there are going to be days when you are down and you're depressed, or whatever it may be. You're going through something. You may have a mental illness, whatever the case may be, and you're going through something, and your partner has to take up the 30% that you can't give today, or the 40% that you can't give today. And how are they going to do that if they're only at 50%? You have to be a whole person to enter a relationship with anybody. You have to be whole within yourself. If you're not whole within yourself first, you can't sit there and expect somebody to be able to only love half of a person. So that's why it's really important in my eyes to learn your love languages, because Will Smith said it, and I know this whole entanglement thing has got people like, know about that. But when Will Smith did say it best, he said, I had to let her go, find herself, and find what makes her happy, so that we could come back together and she could tell me how to make her happy. Because if you don't know how to make you happy, how can you tell your man, woman, whoever, how to make you happy? You can't. Because you don't even know. You can't even make you happy. So how can they make you happy? So you have to learn it within yourself first before you can tell anybody else, before you can explain it to anybody else. Um, Touching on manifestation, I feel like it is so important to take time to manifest things into your life. Me personally, I recently did it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I just sat with meditating music on and really just wrote down everything that I want for myself before this year ends. I also, because I feel like this is important, a lot of people miss it, manifested things that I wanted to let go of myself as well. I feel like a lot of people just manifest things that they want and they want and they want and they want, and they forget to name things that they need to get rid of as well. Um, 2020 has been a real self-reflecting year. It's been a really trying time for everybody, not just me, not just you or whoever is watching this. It's been a really trying time for all of us. So I feel like it's really important to take time to manifest the positive future that we all want for ourselves. I really sat down, like I said, with meditating music on, and just allow myself to think of everything I wanted, everything I wanted to get rid of, everything that I want to progress in. I took time to list out everything, like a couple, just to give a couple of things that were on my list. Um, One of them was to give give roses to people in my life who deserve them now. My mom, my grandpa, people like that, people who deserve to know how much they mean to me and their worth to me. I want to give them their roses while they're still here, because you never know when somebody's gonna be gone. You just never know. Somebody may die tomorrow that's really important to you, and they don't even know how you feel about them. So it's really important to me that I give people their roses while they're still here. Um, Another thing was to build a stronger bond with my mother, a stronger friendship, um, mother daughter relationship, anything with my mother, so that we can just help each other grow. Because she already has helped me grow as a amazing woman and mother. Um, I definitely would not be half of the woman or mother that I am without her, but I really want to build on that so that I can be an even better mother, an even better sister, an even better wife one day, to everybody in my life. Um, One more thing that I wrote on there was everything I want in a man. I do want to settle down. I want to be in a relationship eventually, and I wrote everything that I want in a man on that list. I wrote honesty, trust, just pretty much everything. But I broke it down, and that's really important. You have to be specific with your manifestations. You have to be as specific as you possibly can. I wrote down the type of friends that I want to meet and develop with. I want supportive friends who are going to be there for me, who are going to be honest with me. If something doesn't work, let me know. Whatever it is, be able to communicate with me on my man and my friends have to be able to communicate with me. That is so important. I cannot stress that enough. It's so important for my man and my friends to be able to communicate with me. So those are just a couple of things. And I sleep with it in my pillowcase. I'm not gonna lie to you. I sleep with it in my pillowcase just to always have that connection, even when I'm not awake, of knowing exactly what it is that I really, really want to bring into my own life. And there is no manifesting without work. I also wrote, like I said, you have to write things you want to let go to. I wrote on the list about stop. I want to be friendlier. I want to stop being as mean as I am. I know I can be mean sometimes. So I do want to be a little bit nicer. I want to talk to the kids in a more positive light rather than a negative light. I want to be able to learn how to communicate with them better. But it takes work. And you have to put work behind your manifestation. You cannot just manifest something for yourself and be like, oh, well, now we're just going to leave it up to whatever higher power you believe in. I'm not going to push God on anybody. But whatever higher power that you believe in, manifest it, pray to them. I personally, when I wrote it, I also, while playing meditative music, I read the list out loud and prayed over it, because it's so important that we remind ourselves and reflect on those manifestations. Once a week, I take them out and I read them again and pray over them again, because I know that that this is something that I want for myself. These are goals that I'm setting for myself. These are manifestations that I really want to happen. So to me, it's important to remind yourself sometimes, like, hey, you moving, but you got to remember where you're moving to. So let's keep reminding ourselves where we're moving to. So I feel like that's important as well. Um, Manifestation and self-love goes back to what I said. Me personally, I used to have a mirror in my old house where I had post-it notes with positive affirmations on all over it. Just positive affirmations all over my mirror. We moved, got a new house. I now have a whiteboard with just positive affirmations written in the notes part. I don't even put notes over there. I just have positive affirmations because in the morning, as soon as I wake up, that's the first thing I want to see. I want to see all of the positive things. So positively affirming yourself, and teach your kids to do the same thing. Any mothers, fathers, anybody watching this video, if you do have children, if you adopted, whatever, introduce that to them as well. You want to introduce them to positive affirmations for themselves. Teach them how to go in the mirror and say, I am smart, I am kind, I am beautiful. Teach them that it's okay to, in a constructive way. I'm not gonna tell anybody to go write on their walls, but get them a nice chalkboard for their room so that they can write out manifestations for themselves. Get them a whiteboard in their room and hang it up so they can manifest for themselves. Is really important. Starting out as young as you possibly can, because the world is tough and there are kids out there. If bullies loved themselves, they wouldn't be bullies. Honestly, if we just want to be real, if bullies took the time to really learn and love themselves, we would have no bullies. So you have to teach your kids how to love themselves. You have to teach your kids their own self-worth, because once you do that, you start speaking life into other people. I realized the moment that I start loving myself, all I could do was be positive with other people. I can't argue. What am I arguing with you for? For what? I have to speak positivity into you. I have to tell you that no matter your situation, you're going to come out of it. You want to include me in it, but I'm not worried about it. It has nothing to do with me. That's a you thing. So you have to learn how to speak positivity into people and give them exactly what they may need in that moment. Last but not least, I feel like if you really are struggling with self-love right now, your starting point, write a letter to yourself. And I know that sounds crazy, but seriously, write a letter to yourself. If you do music, write a song to yourself. If you're better at poems, write a poem to yourself. Whatever you're good at, do it for yourself first, and just watch how you grow within the next 3 months of speaking positivity into yourself, saying every morning, I'm gonna have a good day. That is the most important thing. Wake up in the morning and say, I'm gonna have a good day. You cannot wake up with a messed up attitude and think everything's going to be great, because then something in the day is going to ruin your day. So wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to smile today. I'm going to laugh today. Wake up in the morning with some kind of positivity on your mind, and I guarantee you within the next month you will see a change. So write a letter to yourself and then reflect on that in a month and see how much you've changed in that month once you start paying attention to yourself and loving yourself. So thank you guys so much. If you did take the time to watch this whole video, I truly appreciate it. My social media is going to be in the description below. I really appreciate all of the love and support. Share this video if you possibly can. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna do probably at least once a week a video by myself, just to speak to everybody, but on top of that, especially speak to my Black women, because I feel as though we need as many advocates as we can get in all of the trying times that we go through. I feel we are undervalued and unappreciated, and we fight so much for everybody and forget to fight for ourselves. So thank you so much for any support and love that you give. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, please. And I love you guys so much. Have a great day. Make good choices and be happy.